from the YBA Phoenix Fitness 24/7 basketball facility in Rockland, California. It's About That Life podcast with your host, Coach C. Collins and Coach MJ.
Start 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hey, welcome to About That Life podcast. I'm Coach C. Collins.
Coach MJ, GGT.
I know you guys haven't heard that voice in a minute, but my man's is back. He made it. I'm glad he's here, man.
Let's get it.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you've been checking us out, and obviously, you guys know what you're here for. It's a little passion project of mine. It's About That Life podcast. We'll talk a little bit of AAU, social commentary. The culture of basketball, NBA, all the above, a little bit of politics, a little bit of things here and there, but overall just a good conversation and talk about what's going on in today's hoop culture from the youth side all the way to the pro side. If you're new here, thank you for checking it out. If you feel so inclined, please hit that subscribe button and that follow button and that notification button, right? Do the HBO special, help a brother out. We really appreciate it, you know what I'm saying? Right now, I think we're at almost 300 subs. So, if you guys could get us there, get us past that, I appreciate it. It's a small goal, but it's our goal. So, we all start somewhere. So, but on the audio side, a lot of people have been checking us out, listening. We're getting, I think about 1,200 downloads a month. So thank you guys for those who've been supporting from day one. Yeah, big time for real. So before I get to my guest, before we get to the meat of the show, let me get a quick shout out to my sponsors. Shout out to Dr. Dish, best shooting machine on the market. Go ahead and check them out. The links to them will be in the description. Tell them About That Life sent you. They'll hook you up with a discount. Also, if you're looking for good AAU basketball tournaments, rec tournaments, please go to Hardwood Palace, located here in Rockland, California. Hit up Steve or Grant. They'll fill you in. They'll hook you up with a percentage off if you let them know About That Life sent you for your first couple of tournaments. Go ahead and check them out if you're a new AAU program or you've been going for a while. They're always consistent, always got good tournaments, good teams, and overall a good atmosphere. So with all that being out the way, I want to get to my guest. Me and him connected, funny enough, through kind of a couple of artists we've had on the show, like DB by the Bag, AT, and slowly but surely kind of this show has kind of evolved and grow into not only just having coaches and refs and everything now, I really am starting to feel like I'm interviewing everybody, you know what I mean? Which is overall,
the culture.
Right, exactly. And it's overall the goal of the show. I want people to know that, like, that's what I wanted it overall to manifest into. Like, basketball is just kind of the common ground we all got, right? But it's definitely about just getting people sitting down, hearing their journeys, hear their truths, and add their commentary to it all. So, let me before I get too far ahead of myself. This young man, he's been doing the music game for a while, and he has a strong following. Kind of researched him a bit, and he's doing his thing. He's dropped a few albums. I remember you said you got 2 million downloads or streams on Spotify.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
So he's definitely someone who's doing his thing. Of course,
Appreciate
as
that.
always, links to his social media and his accounts and everything will be in the description. So please click on those if you want to follow him, listen to him, support him, because I'm all about supporting my local guys, especially my Sacramento guys. So without further ado, let me introduce Jay Kent. Thanks for being on the show, man.
Welcome.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate you guys, and real quick for everybody tuned in, shout out About That Life, and make sure to hit that subscriber. Let's get them past 1,000. Let's get them to 10,000. Like, they deserve it for real.
I appreciate that, bro. So let's just get into it. So
Yes, sir.
tell me about who you are. Your background. You can give me a brief synopsis. You don't have to give me every single detail because I'm sure you've done that enough. But just give my audience a little brief about who you are. Your background. Your love for basketball and your passion there, and then how that's translated into what you do for music and things like that.
The origin story.
Yeah,
The origin story. So basically, I grew up in North Highlands. I'm 25 years old. I just recently turned 25 years old.
All right.
Blessed to see another year. But I'm a recording artist, songwriter, entrepreneur now of this year. And, I mean, I love sports. So basketball, football, kickboxing, any type of sport, I'm intrigued by because I love competition.
Nice.
So especially being basketball is just a passion for me. Me and that I'm a full-time recording artist. Basketball is like one of my, I get to see the dream happen, and it's cool because I even like my brother LaShawn, another artist under the same company as me. He's a big hooper, you know what I mean. So I get to come out to his games all the time. I get to watch him.
That's dope.
And just see the culture in general. So basketball is always there. So I'd say the connection to basketball is definitely deep for sure, and it just brings that music aspect as well because a lot of people in the basketball community support my music a lot. Whether that be just on Instagram, they'll hit me up after a game, be like, man, I seen your new music video after I just, did a game and they was inspired by it. So it just inspires me. So yeah, it's a little brief, synopsis on me is like just the music side of things. I mean, I've been doing music for going on, almost 10 years now. Wow. Ever since I was 14 years old. And I just had a passion for it. I knew that it was bigger than me, and now that I, as of this year, I know for sure now that this is what I'm meant to do. This is my home, and I just got to keep perfecting my craft. I've already put in, my 10,000 hours, and it's still not enough.
That's how it works.
Okay. I like how he talking.
Right, I know, right? That's reminiscent of what you would say, right? No, that's good, man. And for you to kind of figure that out at an early age, I mean,
but I will say I couldn't have got where I'm at without my team. I know we do shout outs later, but like without my team that I have with my manager, Carl Thornton, my booking agent, Crystal, and just my whole entire team in general, from my engineering to my producers to all the artists and the fans. They're what makes it possible. They're what keeps me going. So, I'm not a one-man army, I'm literally, it takes a village, it takes an empire. Yep. So very humble to the fact that I have a strong support system behind me and people that really care about seeing where my career is going to go.
Good. That's good, man. Then let's talk about it. So you've seen AAU basketball. I'm sure you've seen these tournaments and seen some of this stuff, right?
Right.
And the youth side of it. What's overall your take on that? Because obviously we're going to talk more about, just basketball in general and the NBA and all that good stuff. But I always like to start the base of it in the youth side because that's mainly where that's our avenue, right? So I'm always curious what people from the outside kind of see and perceive from it.
As far as like what age range?
Oh, just period. Just AAU basketball youth in general. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Do you think what's your experience?
Honestly, I think it's amazing because for one, like I said, LaShawn. For two, it's a way to keep a lot of people out of trouble, especially in my city in Sacramento. Man, it gives you a lot of outlet to kind of focus on something positive. And if you got aggression or anger issues or anything you're going through, I think that it's something that can actually channel that energy in a positive way. Teaches you discipline too. So I think that a lot of AAU coaches don't get the credit that they deserve because they work just as hard, if not harder, than some of these college. D1 colleges or even the NBA, not to slight anybody.
Yeah, y'all hear that shit. But, people need to hear that shit.
But no, people do need to hear because it's just like, just because. And one thing I think people do need to realize, which I've realized, is like a lot of AAU, coaches have had that opportunity to even elevate and go to the NBA and coach at that highest level. So people got to give them their flowers in a situation where, they actually – could be at that level too. Life just happens differently. Not everybody's going to get that opportunity, and sometimes people that do get that opportunity, they might have something in the way of being able to go as far as they can. Doesn't mean that they weren't going to. Everybody's life is different. So the coaches, very passionate about it.
I just want to, before you say anything, I just love the tune of this guy right now. Hey, just because a lot of times it's funny because of one of the biggest reasons why we started this show is to me, the consistent is always the opposite of, the negativity about AAU and how, it's bad. And, of course, at the end, there is always pros and cons, and even about how certain, because again, at the end of the day, it's not all AAU coaches or all AAU directors. You do have the bad ones, but, he out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, he talking about you. You know what I'm saying? Like the right way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Man. So I didn't want to cut you off, but I was just like, hey, this it's different today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
It's different today.
Same as my music career, man. I'm organic. Like what you see is what you get.
I like it.
I'm not the type of person to get on here in front on a podcast or a radio interview, man. I want people to know like the real, raw, and uncut version of me, especially the fans tuned in and people that don't know me. If they meet me, then they see that I'm a human too. But at the same time, like we reflect on a lot of things in life and. I'm not saying I know everything, but I do know that I like to surround myself around good energy, and when I'm around good energy, just like the vibe in here is real. So
appreciate it, man.
I'm just more apt to want to speak up and be interactive and kind of just elaborate. And it was a good question to be asked too, because that's genuinely how I felt about it.
Good,
sure.
Good. Well, yeah, it's like so for those who are tuning in, whether you're checking out on YouTube or you're listening or maybe even watching live, so just so you guys understand kind of me and his background, me and Jay's background. So like we ended up kind of meeting face to face because I ended up playing at a men's league. Okay. What was the gym that was at? It was the one off Antelope.
That was
I don't know why I can't think of the name of it right now.
Yeah, I went to a game of LaShawn's in the tournament.
Yeah. And so I ended up I busted their ass. He didn't play, but I busted their team ass. And so
man, I was just on the side.
Yeah, he was on the side.
I had my Instagram. I was
he was spectating this shit, but then that's when we got a chance to meet face to face, and he was like, man, I saw your show with AT&DB, man, and I want to get on, and I was like, yeah, man, because I'm big on I'm an OG, man. I just want to help the young guys out. You know what I'm saying? I want you guys to do your thing and prosper. And if I can offer a small platform that can, help in the longevity of it. Let's say you blow up and shit goes great for you, all that. At least, you can always circle back to here and just be like, you know what, man, this dude was helping me out long before any of this shit happened. Because honestly, that's all it is for me. I've just made it a life goal and a mission for myself to try to help younger guys find success in any way I can, in any capacity I can. So
100%.
That's just wanting people to understand how hoop culture can work and tie people together, and just the strangest ways. I said I was playing in a men's league, was killing it, and now I met him, and now he's on the show.
Man, that's like divine intervention,
for real.
And I could connect to it too, because like one of our partners that work in our company as well, Herman Carter. He has his own AAU as well. Got Buckets. And so to watch and see what he's doing, he's changing the game, especially for North Highlands right now. So that community, and just watching him do what he's doing, he's another one of those coaches, man, that I see literally devote his life, his investments, everything into the youth, into making a program that's gonna actually excel for younger people and people that have a dream and want to strive, that may not ever get the chance to be like an NBA player or something, but it's always like there's always an opportunity for it. It's like just never give up on yourself.
Absolutely. Scratch for that, man. So I want to talk about the combination of kind of hip hop culture,
right,
and basketball and sports in general. I mean, at this point, in my opinion, it's bigger than I want to put the emphasis more on culture, because it feels like that's more what hip hop and basketball has become. It's not a racial thing, maybe in the early beginnings of it, the genesis of it, it was more just tied to the black community and things like that. But now it's universal, man. You know what I mean? Everybody, like, hip hop culture and hoop culture are tied together pretty cohesively. You can see it, you know, again, and we'll elaborate a little more, but it's just to give people examples out there like Chris Paul and Lil Wayne, right? Jay-Z and LeBron, you know, Drake and the Toronto Raptors. And
of course.
I know
E40.
Exactly, E40. I was going to say just for my Warriors. And, you know, you got my boy, Mr. Fab, who we went to high school together, funny enough. His name's Stanley, in case y'all ever went. I love you, Stan. You know I'm fucking with you. But yeah, it's Stan, you know, Mr. Fab, but then Too Short, E40, and the Warriors and the Bay culture. So I'm just curious your take on that. Like, why do you think that's so tied together, and why do you also think it fits so naturally?
Well, I mean, if you think of it, basketball is entertainment too. Mm-hmm. So it's tied together and automatically into an entertainment aspect, because basketball players love music.
Yes.
But artists love entertainment and watching basketball. Like, I mean, in 2019 I performed at the Golden One Center. One of the only other artists, you know, besides like AT and a couple other artists to ever touch the Golden One Center in my city. So, you know, just to be able to be in the home of the Sacramento Kings and perform like that was like a big thing for me. So there was a connectivity right there, because I'm sitting in a Kings and a Rockets game, you know, home opener, and I'm you know, performing like literally 2 days before Christmas of 2019. Man. So just to be able to do that and be in front of thousands, and you know, some of those people weren't coming to see me, like they were probably coming to see basketball. So there's the connectivity there. And then it's just like the longevity. Even like, I know you know, it's Drake and LeBron James. You know what I mean? Like there's like just they're brothers, you know. But it's always the support system there and stuff. So I think that it's just a genuine real life connection, because most people, even like you think about too, Lonzo Ball was you know, doing music. Victor Oladipo was doing music. Damian Lillard.
Lillard. He's
not to mention a lot of other artists.
The rap league
playing basketball.
You know, I know, I do like that. I mean, I like your take on that. It's just, I think it's 1,000% correct.
Even taking it to the Drew League, or the Crew League. I said the Drew League, the Crew League and stuff, like basketball with, you know, Chris Brown. You know,
that's true.
Hell of a singer, like hell of an artist, but he can hoop his ass off too. So it's just like, in those situations, I think that sports in general and music, it's all entertainment. Why do you think you even have the Super Bowls? Not even to like drift away from basketball, but even like at the Super Bowls or the NBA Finals, you have people constantly performing because they need artists, but artists need, you know, basketball as well. They need sports too.
Yeah. I think too, just something to drop into that is, I think the other really big connection when it comes to sports and music is the work. The work to become the best, the work
100%.
To perfect your craft.
It's common ground.
At the end of the day, you can be in the studio for hours. I can be in the gym for hours too, not getting no sleep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Understanding that in order to, you know what I'm saying? Because again, at the end of the day, it's not about the result, right? As we all know, it's about the process. And if we invest into the process, whether it's the music, you know what I'm saying? What Kanye do? He locked himself up in some. What did he do?
It was like he locked himself up like in his room or something, like a whole summer,
right? Just to be focused with his work for an album. You know what I'm saying? And then as an athlete,
that's true too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We can go off season, man. I'm gonna go train in another state, in the middle of nowhere with my trainer and some train, just, you know what I'm saying, get an Airbnb, but for 2-3 months I'm out here focused.
Right.
So I feel like that right there, and then like you said, and then the entertainment, you're right, all the you know, they don't see the stuff that we do behind closed doors, the unseen hours or whatever. And then when it's time for showtime, you know what I'm saying, I think like, to me, like that's the biggest connection, you know, when it comes to the music and the sports.
Right. Do you think also what adds to the factor is how relatable and close basketball players are like to the community? Because think about like football again, you can always, and again, obviously I'm biased, I'm a basketball player, but I'm just saying basketball seems to be one if not the only major sport you're that close.
That's true.
To the player and everything you do. I mean, you know, you can see little interactions on the bench. You can see, I mean, the players are very out there. And obviously, as an artist, your success is predicated on basically how exposed you have yourself. You know what I mean? Obviously, you want to mainly for your music and stuff, not for, you 100%. Know, extra shit. But I'm just saying, I feel like that's another variable that ties these two groups together. You know what I mean? Because don't get me wrong, like NFL athletes love hip hop and all that stuff, but you don't. You know, the field's down here, the fans are up here. You know what I mean? It's just
they got helmets on. You can't.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have that personal interaction the way basketball players
and you get a lot of the NFL players coming to the basketball.
Yeah,
game.
Exactly.
So it's just I mean, it's definitely a divine culture because you know the entertainment aspect and the connection with that. I think that it's definitely like it's like you can almost feel a part of it. In a sense, like it's almost like you think you're in the game because even like the shots and you know that people put up before halftime buzzer beaters or whatever the case may be, all these artists are down there probably like just as happy as all the fans are, if not maybe sometimes even more happier. And so you know it's like it's just like I don't know, it's an unreal experience, you know. I think that it's a rush. It's an adrenaline rush that most people get, and I think that's what they love it. And it's a popular thing. It's very popular.
Yeah. Bro, then what, okay, so tell me about, well, I want you to talk more about your music journey, right? Like you said, you've been doing it for a very young age. If you could say there were two things, like let's say you have some young artists who are interested of walking your path, there's two tips you could give them or tell them or some insight or you can give a story, an example, whatever, but is there something, if there's one or two things you could put out there to kind of give another up-and-coming guy, you know, some help on the journey, what would it be?
100%. The two things I've always lived by and I feel like that have helped me and continue to help me is I mean, one of the most obvious things is perseverance. Perseverance goes along with being persistent. This is not a game to get discouraged in. It will happen. Discouragement does happen in this business, but you have to continue to believe in yourself. So those two things I would say is believe in yourself and perseverance for anybody that wants to do it, because I like to look at myself as like everything I'm doing and the outlook that people see about me right now and they see what I have going on with my career, they got to remember that they could do it too. Yeah. I'm not the only one who can do it. And I'm not even nowhere near where I'm planning on being, you know? So just to see what I'm doing and to see that that's inspiring enough to kind of inspire somebody else puts me in a situation to where it's like, okay, you know, it took me years to get to this moment and I'm not even at the moment that I want to be at. So you have to, it can't be like a money hungry thing. It's not going to be overnight. You know, it can't be one of those situations where you just get your hopes up and you expect it right away. So, you know, you have to persevere. You have to be persistent. You have to believe in yourself and trust your process.
I mean, you're
Trusting
basically
your process is literally, and I think that goes for anybody, whether you want to be a nurse, basketball player, recording artist, a chef, whatever you want to do.
You're in a competitive sport.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, let's just call it what it is. He's in a competitive sport.
It's a dogfight.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Music's a competitive sport. No, that's good to hear. Mark, did you have anything to add to that or nothing? Or
listening to him like he locked in. Like he locked in. So again, like
I've done a couple of these before.
As I said, I like it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know my clientele, all the kids that I work with, you know, gonna come here and listen to it and watch it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take out some of your snippets. You know what I'm saying? The ones like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Like again, like you're right. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like for somebody like you. You know what I'm saying? You're only 25.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're only 25 and the way you talking like again, like you've put in the time, you put in the work and like you're not done yet. So I feel like that is again, it's not about the result. You know what I'm saying? So that's some good stuff right there.
What's your approach for, you know, 2022? I mean, I know before the show we talked a little bit about, you know, you have the label, you got your podcast that you guys are thinking of so far. So you know, break all that down. Your label, your roles there, your plans. Like what's 2022, the rest of the year? What's the plan?
2022. I mean, it's already been a dream so far. It's just been so much hard work, and I can't thank my team enough for working as hard as they have. Night and day in the office, just putting together these blueprints. But as many do know on social media, I have my project, my EP / like Fake Way album coming out. It's 9 records. You know, it was supposed to be. It's an EP. It's called an EP. You know, but it's an album in my eyes, which because of how much love and support I had from the last album, my 2 a.m. album. This is going crazy online right now. You know, my Voice EP. It drops this coming Friday on the 27th.
I was saying, sorry to cut you off on that. It's just you mentioned that made me remind me. I wanted you to talk about your like 2 a.m. album, or because that's kind of the one that's really kind of got you on, right? Or some of those songs, or some that got you to the streams, the downloads, all that good stuff. So please break that down. We were
able to go a little international, and definitely regional on a big scale of being regional. With this album, with the 2 a.m. album. Anybody can find the 2 a.m. album, on all platforms. But the streaming has been crazy, especially for my song featuring my brother, Jake the Majesty, This Way. That record and that video just has been like, it's crazy. Like even performing at the shows, people showing up and they're just singing the words like better than I'm singing the words. So, it feels great for that. But yeah, I mean, the album set me up to catapult into 2022 the exact way that we planned on going into it, and that's why this EP, that Voice EP is making so much of a difference, because on the EP, which is the last song I just released, is a shout out to single moms. I did a record that, again, it was bigger than me. I used my platform to honor single moms, and it wasn't a diss on dads. It wasn't no offense to any type of any real dad, any real father out there. It's just what I could relate to, because all I had growing up was my mom and my grandma.
No, we can understand that. I was raised that way too. Right. My mom, my grandma. So I would get that. Well, yes, me and this man are both dads too, very active dads. So we get it.
Shout out to you guys too. I just felt like in that moment, like nobody has taken their platform to that level to want to put an outreach out on something like that serious. So I felt like it was much needed. It was necessary. My booking agent, Crystal, she inspired me to want to put this record out, and we have a tour in the works for it. Wow. This is for you. We did our first one downtown a couple weeks back. Very, very good turnout. Was able to really make an impact on a lot of the single moms that showed up and tell their story and perform the record. And the record is doing a lot for people right now. People been messaging me on TikTok and Instagram and just everywhere telling me like this song is changing their life. And I'm being a voice for the ones that don't have a voice. And I just think that the moms worldwide, they connect to it. The kids that never had a dad in their life, they feel it. And it's even been inspiring some dads that haven't been present in their children's lives. They have actually sent me messages and said it kind of woke their game up a little bit, so where they want to make a difference. Nice. So I just wanted to make a difference, and also wanted to dedicate it to my mom, because my mom, as well as raising us as, a single mom, she battled 14 years of aggressive cancer, and she's still here. So I wanted her story to be out, and I said, there's no way I could, ever repay her. So let me at least let the world know who she is. Yeah. She deserves it. I'm going to continue to push the hell out of that record. The team behind me, we have big plans for that. But so, along with the project, along with this, this song, this campaign, I'm also running a label now. Nice. I'm an actual partner in a real label out here in California called Look at You Music Group, powered by 5 Diamond Advertisement. Man, shout out to my manager and CEO, Carl Thornton. Couldn't do it without you. But we're changing the narrative, being an independent label. And then now also, joining forces with AT as well, man.
Shout out to AT.
Stay tuned on that one. But we have a song called That Guy, and it kind of just merged into something, bigger. And it took a good turn. So a lot of collaborations. I plan on doing a lot of shows, hopefully for a lot of college universities. Nice. So definitely a lot of singles coming. But I'm learning the business side in a whole different way right now. Like I'm learning how to take the business to a different level, and I'm learning as an independent artist how to navigate the right way.
That's the best way to do it.
So so many plans for this summer. It's crazy because it's so much work to get done. So this summer is going to be very active, and a lot of people are going to see a lot of what's going on in the summer because we have a lot set up. But at the same time, we have so much stuff happening behind the scenes that it's just like, it's crazy just to see what's on the way, you know. And like, it's crazy because like one of the biggest things my manager always says, he says, you don't see how the world views you. He said, like, we get the fan engagement, you know, and everything that they give us.
Oops.
And
Sorry,
no,
Sorry.
you all good. But yeah, you know, like just what he always said. He's like, you know, he said like to be able to like go to a show or just see what's going on. He's like, man, like, what if you know, put yourself in the consumer's shoe and actually be like, realize like we don't know how many people actually genuinely know me right now because we've had so many listeners so far. So it's just a blessing to be doing what I'm doing. But I'm also doing artist development, man. You know, we just signed on another artist, young 19-year-old artist, you know, KJ. Okay. Shout out KJ. He's going crazy right now, man. But, you know, putting that together was amazing as well. But aside from, you know, the business and running the label, and then, you know, also getting this podcast network up and coming and, you know, getting ready to launch that. It's just so much stuff on the business end. So to summarize what's going on, it's a lot. And I'm not even saying everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't give it all away.
No, that's it. It sounds like you're covering your bases. You're using multiple platforms. You're using social media. I mean, that's the biggest thing that's changed this game, this narrative, man. You know, from at least I'm just telling you from my old man perspective, like, you know, culturally the shift of the internet and what it's done and how it's giving all you guys a fair shot, you know what I mean? 100%. Or at least now again, is it competitive as fuck? Of course, you know what I mean? True. It's hard to, you know, get yourself out there, but then I circle back because like for instance the episode with DB, you know, that was a kid I coached, you know what I mean? And that kid evolved into what he's doing now, you know, and then and then I look at like again a content creator like Marcellus Howard, a kid I coached, and watching him become that, and then but then it's like I go back to like my friends who are around my age, like Fab, like Stan, right, and his path was way different than, you know what I mean, the internet was not, it was in its infancy, you know what I mean, so he definitely really had to like scrape and go, and now he has a very good level of success. So I just I'm actually very excited and fascinated by how a lot of you younger guys get an opportunity and get a chance, you know what I mean, because it's like you said, you guys being an independent label, trying to put guys on as SAG. Before we move on to everything else, that was kind of segueing to my last question is, how do you feel about like I'm big on, and I say this and I say it a lot, and me and Mark talk about this a lot, and you know, just in general, I'm big on growing laterally, right? Of course. If someone's up there and they can pull you up, great, right? But I'm more big on you grow laterally, you know what I mean? Like, let's say, for instance, this podcast, let's say it does get to the scale of like All the Smoke or Joe Rogan's podcast or something crazy like that. He's right there with me, you know what I mean? Like, we gonna 100%. Do that together, you know what I mean? Even though like he's busy doing his own thing with his company, I'm clearly busy doing my own thing with this. But if I make it, he makes it. You know what I mean? And I assume it's vice versa, unless you're gonna be an asshole and leave. But no, I'm just
never forget where you come from.
But no, I'm just curious on how is that kind of a philosophy you believe in as well, like 100%, moving up laterally.
You know, I will not proceed with any major opportunity without my manager and my team. You know, my manager's been in my life. He's a mentor. He's my best friend. You know, and then his sister, my booking agent, is crazy. It's a family oriented, but you know, both of them have made it all possible for me, especially this last year and a half, and just not even to mention them, just my whole team. So it's like, I know I can't take absolutely everybody with me, but I do know that I'm putting on as many people as I can, and I know the for sure people I'm putting on, you know, and it's a big amount of people because so many people, you know, took a chance on me, and so many people actually believed in me, and actually wanted to let me finally be myself as an artist, finally tell my story, and then support it. No hate, no jealousy, no discrimination, not one single thing. And anybody who did, you know, they got removed out of my circle. And that's just kind of what it comes down to. But no, moving laterally, again, that's, you know, we wouldn't be where we're at without the people that we came up with in a certain aspect. Now, it doesn't mean that you got to put on somebody if they didn't put in the work with you.
Of course.
But, you know, because I've had my instances with some of my old team and, you know, old people I've worked with that, you know, we just didn't side well business-wise. And, you know, I had to make the executive decision to move on with my career.
And that happens.
And go to where it makes sense. But with my team right now, and especially my manager, man, we made plans 10 years from now. You know, and that's my brother. So without him, it wouldn't have been possible. So when it's possible for me to change me and everybody I care about, their lives, and, you know, financially and just with everything that I can do, best believe I'm doing it. You know,
nice.
It wouldn't be possible without it. And there's no way that I could even see myself doing that. And just, you know, it would be fake. Honestly, it would just be fake to walk away from what I had, because I'm there now. Okay, well, what happens when you're there now? Now you around everybody that you don't know. Now you in a big business. Now you really got to make every decision. And, you know, that's the one thing, too. I trust my team. They're going to make the decisions that I don't even have to make for myself now, because I know that they want to make those decisions for me, and I can sleep well at night.
Very cool.
So it's for sure about your team.
I love it.
Love that, man.
Move laterally 100%. Anybody out there, move laterally, because you're never going to get to the top and actually stay there if you burning bridges. I promise you.
Yep, and I totally agree with that. Well, moving on, right? Let's go into hot takes. So, first thing I wanted to talk about, it was kind of brought to my attention. A buddy of mine, my boy Carson, texted me this on Instagram, so I just kind of was curious on you guys on it. I don't know if you saw the recent prom picture with Bronny and his prom date.
I don't think I did.
Basically, you know, he went to prom with a white girl, right? You know, blonde hair. I think she had blue eyes. Whatever. Who cares? I don't give a shit where I'm biracial, but but there was a lot of comments. It was a lot of comments. The sisters was not happy, and I'm like, well, first off, isn't he's a kid? I'm like, last time I checked, isn't he like 17, 18? Who knows? But like, at the end of the day, that's a kid going to his prom, and the school he goes to is predominantly white, so that would also make sense. Like, it's not like he goes to school in
goes to Sierra Canyon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
he got to find the baddest one.
Yeah, you know exactly.
Like he's Bronny.
Well, and it could be, you know, like if that's what he's into.
Exactly.
You know?
Like
it probably is, like, because it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't matter about what ethnicity you are. I mean, you're into what you're into.
And my thing is, you
teenager,
right? He's a teenager, and of course we do have to keep in perspective. And I always try to be objective and keep in perspective. We are in California, and we are a melting pot here. Yeah. I've traveled the country. I've traveled the world. I went to school in the Midwest, into college. California is not like the rest of this country. You know what I mean? It's just not, you know what I mean? When I was just even recently on the circuit, when we were in Kansas City and Indiana,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, you know, trust me, bro. When I went to restaurants, I remember like, oh yeah, this is fucking Indiana. Like, you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? I'm the darkest thing in there. You know what I mean? And I'm a light skinned brother, so it's like, trust me, bro. So I do try to keep in mind that lens. There are a lot of sisters, a lot of people that still have a lot of hate in their hearts, unfortunately. I mean, you can even bring it up to the recent news, to the shooting in New York.
Yeah, man, that's
you know what I mean.
Sad to hear that.
With the guy that is, so it's still there. Unfortunately, I do think we are culturally moving in the right direction, where more of these racists, these degenerates, these pieces of shit are either getting fucked out of existence, or, you know, the mentality's changing with the younger and younger generations. I see it, like, you know, my age group to now your age group to like his age group. Mark's a little younger than me. Like, it's shifting, and it's shifting in a positive direction. Will it take time? Absolutely. But I was just curious your guys' thoughts on people giving backlash to something like that.
I think it's kind of like over exaggerating, to be honest. Like, I just think, you know, I mean, to put it in short terms, let Bronny do what Bronny wants to do.
Exactly. Yeah. You got any thoughts on that one, Mark?
It's the fucking internet.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like to me, when I saw the picture, I'm like, all right, let me see these comments.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
And you saw,
you still have the love.
Yeah, lots of love.
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Then, you know what I'm saying? You still got the motherfuckers out here like it's just hard, man. Like,
it's like, oh, you got all these pretty sisters, and this is what you take to
like
promise.
You just want to get a reply so you can argue with people.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
it's like, come on, man, get a life, man. It's just stupid.
I just think, you know, it come down to like somebody, you know, just could blow something out of proportion.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like unnecessary, really, because, you know, it's crazy. Like you know, like people take it to the next level and stuff. Man. Like everybody. Yeah. But then you got to remember too, especially the bigger that you get, especially like Bronny. You know, I mean, everybody's gonna always have something to say once you're under that microscope. Once you're under that microscope, everybody's gonna have something to say. So you just gotta just take it with a grain of salt. Let it just happen.
Yeah, you know? and like I said, unfortunately, and you just deal with this as men, especially black men. I'm just saying this is my lived experience. You know, sisters always gonna have something to say if you date outside your race. It just is what it is, man. And it's an uncomfortable truth.
Give you that look.
Yeah, it's an uncomfortable truth they don't want to say. I mean, I want to say in California it's more accepted. You know what I mean? Because again, we have a huge melting pot out here. You know, of course, I'm gonna keep it a buck. We do have our pockets out here where you deal with some racial undertones and bullshit like that. But overall, it's a state where, trust me, I much rather live here than 100%. A lot of other places. So
ain't no disrespect to anybody, but ain't nothing like no California people,
right, man? You know what I mean?
Out in Cali, but again, you know, like I love the East Coast culture too.
Yeah,
you know, I just love. I'm a people person. I love people in general.
Good, man. That's a good way to be. So yeah, just don't want y'all thoughts on that. So I want to do a reaction video real quick. We're gonna I'm gonna play this little clip for you guys, and then we'll talk about it a little bit and get more into it. It's more alluding to the Pat Bev, Chris Paul storyline, you know. So we're gonna delve into that a little bit.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play this. It's and shout out to the guy speaking is Matt Barnes. It's he's listening to he's on one of the Warriors podcasts I listen to called Dubs Talk. So you know, I'm a Warriors fan. So of course after we'll talk about the win tonight, but their first win, and then after Pat Bev did all that, so they talked to him. So I thought Matt, and shout out to Matt Barnes, you know what I mean? Shout out to Danielle for being on the show. I think his take, not the one he said on First Take, not the initial one, but this is one he said after it. I think if you guys hear it and check it out, I'm curious what you guys think about it. So I'll play it right now.
We saw your comments responding to the Pat Bev comments that were made before about CP3. And I just wanted to follow up with a couple questions with you because I found it interesting what you're saying. And when do you think, where is the line between keeping it honest and maybe crossing over to just straight disrespect?
It doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. And obviously, as media personalities, you know, the tough part is to critique. And, you know, we do have to tell the brutal, honest truth sometimes. But I still think within that, you don't have to disrespect people. And I think, you know, people stepping into the media space now, particular athletes, feel like they have to be loud, say something crazy, and be disrespectful to kind of be accepted in this space, which to me is the furthest thing from the truth. But at the same time, that kind of behavior is rewarded. Like, you know, I mean, to me, I compare it to reality TV where, you know, they don't want to see a happy family on reality TV. They want to see hair pulling, drinks thrown, and fighting. And I almost think it's the same thing in the media space now. Like, people know that controversy and disrespect will bring clicks. And it's just unfortunate because I feel like, and this is not everyone, there's a lot of, you know, great reporting out there, whether it be former players or just people in the media. But it just feel like there is no line anymore to answer your questions because I just feel like, you know, everyone feels like they have to say the most outlandish, disrespectful thing to get attention on social media.
So that's kind of his take, and I actually found that very accurate. You know what I mean? We do kind of live in a clickbait culture, right? Like, for instance, my brother Webb, shout out to him, when he did the show, he always jokes with me. Because he's seen my YouTube channel. You've seen like my One Small Club stuff and all that stuff, and you know, this show and everything. He says, he jokes with me all the time, but he says, Chris, he said, you know the reason you ain't like hit it big or hit it famous yet, right? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, dude, you gotta get into a fight on the show. You and someone gotta argue and curse each other out. He's like, you doing all this family friendly shit, and then no one's gonna fucking click on that, and that's just him joking.
He ain't lying,
but that's the truth, right? And I think kind of him saying that to me, and then hearing Matt Barnes and his take on that, I personally think it's very accurate, and I do think it's stupid. I mean, I never would think of myself as a content creator, but I guess at this point we're 40 episodes into this show. I mean, yeah, it's like I'm in this little space as a content creator, but I do feel I'm very objective, and I think I try to look at everything from both sides, and I never want to cross that line of disrespect, but I am going to speak my mind at the same time. So, I'm just, is there a line anymore? What Pat Bev, and again, Pat Bev is not the antithesis. I'm just saying to me, he's a symptom of the culture we live in today, where anyone feels comfortable crossing any line because you're protected by a screen, basically. So curious what you guys think about that.
I mean, there's really not a line no more. I don't feel like it's been a line for a while now. It progressively started getting worse. Yeah. I mean, now it's like the internet just like an open feeding frenzy for you to be exactly whatever you want to be, like you said, and be protected by a screen. So now everybody can be a keyboard warrior and say whatever they want to say.
Clicks are the new clicks and views are the new crack.
100%. I try to personally not feed into it a lot, especially when I'm trying to stay focused and keep my mind clear. So I don't really let it get to me like that. But you kind of just shake your head a little bit sometimes when you see it. You just gotta just laugh. You just gotta laugh about it, because just let people be. If they want attention, just give them their attention. Like let them do what they gonna do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But I agree. I mean, I agree with Matt Barnes for sure. To put it short, it's like definitely something to agree upon, because I mean, if you think about it, it's the quickest way to get attention. It's the quickest way to either get good exposure or bad exposure. But either way, exposure is is going to be the way to go. So,
and I just know I don't want to go that route. You know what I mean? I don't want someone to take a clip from this show and I mean, you can't take anything out of context and make it controversial. But overall, I feel like if you want to take a small clip from this show, it's not going to be, in my opinion, it's not going to be enough ammunition to sit here and make it seem like I said something super critical or bad. I'm just I'm not going to cross that line.
You'd be surprised too. Yeah. They'll try to get you canceled real quick.
Oh yeah,
that's why
absolutely.
I'm like, okay, let me think before I speak.
Yeah,
I'm not getting canceled over here.
For real. What about you, Mark?
I think at the end of the day, like going back to the bad and the good, like, yes, you're right. Like it's bad, but that's what's gonna get you on, depending on even the situation. But if it is negativity, it can, good or bad, it can increase the exposure per se. But from a long term, it's like I said, it's the 15 minutes. Like it's not like the long. Like you always talk about the infinite game. Like if you do it the right way. If you do it the righteous way, if you do it, even if it might take time, right?
Yes.
It don't got to be no crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? They give you your 15 minutes of fame, but at the end of the day, if you stay consistent, right? If you stay I understand, and this is why I love. And again, we'll see what happens, but like Chris Paul hasn't said nothing.
Yeah,
no tweets. No. So it don't even matter if some of the shit that Pat Bev is saying about him is true, if it's not, how the NBA perceives him, who he is. At the end of the day, he's just like LeBron. LeBron gets all the hate, but if you really look at like they staying clean. He's a family man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, he's a competitor. Like you got to have that alter ego when you're competing. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. So for him to still, he's the president, all this, like, yes. I love Pat Bev though too.
Yeah, of course.
He's a menace. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you love him as a teammate. You hate playing against him.
I love it. But again, right?
He's a scrappy player.
Yeah. He's a scrappy player. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like we'll see what happens. But Chris Paul's just, he getting ready for next season.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not even.
He got bigger fish to fry.
If anything, he's going to remember when they play the Timberwolves again. I'm assuming. You know what I'm saying?
Knowing him, yes.
So I feel like at the end of the day, it's good and it's bad, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like if you're going to choose a path of how you want to do this from the long-term standpoint, then it's always, you know what I'm saying, you got to go the way of positivity, no matter what.
100%.
And think about
because it goes back to doing something right. You know what I mean? If you're not, because a lot of people can get successful fast by doing it the wrong way, but that's ultimately not going to lead you down the path that's going to last. Yeah, you're not going to be timeless. With me, capitalization is everything.
Yes, sir. I like that.
You know, you got to capitalize. So, like you said, with that 15 minutes of fame, it's not about getting 15 minutes of fame. Anybody could get the 15 minutes of fame. What are you going to do to stay there?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, and it's funny because the guy obviously saying that clearly has that unique perspective, because I mean, honestly, Matt became more famous after his basketball career, and he kind of became famous through reality TV because his ex was on Basketball Wives, and that's when people, and of course, you know, he's a light-skinned brother, you know, what they always tease in LA always has a token good-looking light-skinned dude, like it was Rick Fox before him and all that stuff. But I'm just saying, like, you know, of course all that plays a factor, but I'm saying he was in that reality TV stuff. He segued, but then even like his partner Steven Jackson, who more or less got more notable because of the Malice in the Palace, and he was able to turn that negative platform into now something more positive. So it really is, it really shows to their character of what they're saying in terms of like, hey, if you want to do things, if you want to be in this media space, try to remember, you know, there is a line somewhere there that you want to try to observe. So I was just curious what you guys thought about that one. So let's move on to the NBA as a whole, right? Playoffs are here. Jay, who's your favorite team? Man, I always ask that. I'm
a Lakers fan.
Hey.
Oh, here we go with this. Oh my God!
But it's not.
If I like him, I told him I like him.
It's not been on no bandwagon type stuff.
Right.
For one, I love Kobe, man. Rest in peace to Kobe. I also love LeBron James though too, and not just because of him being a excellent GOAT basketball player, but what he does for the community. I think that.
Hold on that GOAT comment. I got it.
Stop the cap.
And again, everybody gonna give that. You know,
that's just the old man in me.
I think, you know, but when you do what you do, and then the leadership that you have, and I mean, you know, at the end of the day, not everybody's gonna have to like LeBron, but you got to respect him.
Oh, I absolutely respect that, man. Absolutely,
because he just does what he's supposed to do, you know.
And he got that Lakers stuff on, so you know.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
I'm with LeBron right now too. 100%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. You know,
y'all with Westbrook too?
You know, I think at the end of the day, you know, it takes a team. It takes a team. It takes a team. You know, maybe the team chemistry been moving the way that it was supposed to. You know, maybe the best could have been brought out of him too. I think
I just like fucking with him, taking that stab at him. But that's I can gloat a little bit because my Warriors are back on top, so a little bit. But no, well, cool. That's your favorite. So then, have you been checking out the playoffs a little bit, right? I'm sure everybody's watching playoffs.
Very competitive this year.
Yeah, I was saying, what do we overall feel about the playoffs, man? Like, I think it's been a great playoff series. Period. Just overall in general.
100%.
I think the only one I would say where I kind of knew it was going to be that way was Denver and the Warriors. Yeah, you know what I mean? I kind of knew that.
I look at it, and again, I mean, anything can happen from now until the finals, but like I truly believe like it's looking like a Golden State Boston and what I love about it is, and again, not say
Jimmy Buckets.
No, but I want to talk about Golden State to where they were talking about Golden State played Denver, right? Not shade. I'm just trying to talk basketball.
Yeah.
Because Golden State can still win these finals.
Right.
They played Denver. You know what I'm saying, with no Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And yeah, reality.
But Jokic. You know what I'm saying? They played against the MVP. Okay, they had Denver. You know, they were kind of injured, and then they played and they went to who was
Memphis.
They played? Memphis.
Yeah.
John Morant got hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, Memphis gave some fight, but no John Morant.
Yeah.
Right. They beat Memphis. And now here we are, you know, with Dallas, where again, it's still early, You know what I'm saying? But
Definitely
it's just Luka. You know what I'm saying? like if Luka is able to beat the Warriors, then he's on that Larry Legend, next Larry Bird kind of thing right now. Which I think he will get there. But the Warriors are still in their prime. So
that's facts.
They beat Dallas, and then you go to the East, where these Celtics, man, look at the pack. Because I would say right now, because Phoenix proved it, I think the East is overall is the most competitive compared to the West this year. To where Boston, you know what I'm saying, they had to eliminate Kyrie and KD. They swept Brooklyn, right? So then they go into the next round, right? And then they go and beat the MVP. I know they didn't have Middleton, but that's still the defending champs.
Yeah.
Now here they are playing the number 1 team in the East.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if they gonna go into, and again, anything can happen.
They will be battle tested.
Oh, no doubt. Against where if they're able to, and again, of course, I know you don't want that. But if Boston, if Jason Tatum leads his Celtics through that gauntlet and beats the Warriors, that puts him, like, to me, superstardom.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? If that happens.
Well, he's emerged as a superstar, legit superstar right now.
Yeah.
And it's always funny because I find this is just on a different, because we're talking about the Celtics and Heat thing, and you guys can tell me your take on this. I've always looked at Jimmy Butler as he's like always one step away from being a superstar. Like he's an all-star. You know what I mean? He's a phenomenal player, tough as nails, but he, you know what I mean? It's always been something like he's one something away from being like a superstar. And I mean, ultimately the man's rich. He's killing in the NBA. By all accounts, he is a superstar amongst basketball in general.
Defensive
but
animal,
but you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. It's always something like, I felt like it's kind of like even Paul George to me. Paul George and Jimmy Butler in that same tier where it's like you see it like they're this close to being a superstar, but something's not there. You know what I mean?
There's levels to greatness. You know what I'm saying? When you got Chuck, you know what I'm saying? You know on inside in there, you got Chuck. And then you got Shaq. You know what I'm saying? You know Shaq always like throw shade at Chuck.
Of course he does.
But I feel like Jimmy Butler, he is a great player. I'm with you. I wouldn't. That's tough.
Like you wouldn't call him a superstar, but you know he's an all-star. But it's like it's something in the middle
for sure.
I think he's been a superstar through these playoffs.
Sure. Yes, absolutely.
Yep. And if he's able to get his team to the finals and win the finals, he's a superstar.
Exactly.
Like his career, I look at, but he's not like LeBron.
Right.
Or KD.
Right.
Or even Giannis.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Or Joel Embiid.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Or Curry.
Right.
You know, but yet I feel like, and I know Lowry's hurt right now, like he's in the perfect situation, the perfect fit, but I feel like he's not, and that's the difference between Kawhi Leonard and DeMar DeRozan, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. I know he's been injured. I feel like that's the difference between a Kawhi and Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I feel like he needs some help.
Yes. Yeah, he does.
That's
he
what
definitely
he needs.
does. Right. What's your take, Jay? You got any insight on that one?
I mean, I kind of said as far as with Jimmy.
Yeah, just what like you feel. Yeah. I know you feel like you said he has been a superstar in this playoffs, no doubt about that.
Yeah, I think he has still got to prove some things for sure. You know, just because you're on that big stage. Yeah. You know, I mean, I think that, like you said, he's got all the fundamentals to be a superstar right now, but he has to prove it for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, going back to what the take is just on the teams in general, I've said it from the beginning. You know, I mean, I'm going to stand on it. It's going to be Miami and Golden State in the finals.
Okay.
Nice. And Golden State, I feel like they are going to get the ring for sure. I said it from the beginning. You know, as soon as I seen the way Golden State was playing, and then Clay came back, I'm like, they're going to win. They're going to win this year. Yeah. But then I watched Miami, and I watched them those last few games before they went to the playoffs, and then I just watched how they shut down every single team. I mean, they made Trae Young look like he was a new basketball player out there. So just for seeing that. Again, Miami is very, very locked in right now. Yeah. They blew the game last game, but they're not worried about it. Yeah. I can guarantee you they're not worried about it. That defense is swarming.
Yeah.
Swarming. Oh, yeah. Bring Marcus Smart back. It's clean. You know, I mean, it's going to be a great game either way. Both teams will be battle tested, but Miami ultimately has all the pieces right now, and they have that grind. They got that fight to get there. Don't get me wrong, Boston's very hungry. I just don't think that Boston and Golden State would be the best matchup.
Interesting. Okay.
You know, it's like there will be some flashy plays. Like this is a big thing. Even LaShawn was saying, we were talking about this, but like be a lot of fancy plays and stuff. And you know, it'll be fun to watch in certain areas. But for a competitive back and forth type of game and just best finals, Golden State and the Miami Heat have the best matchup. You know, when it comes to that defense. Will challenge Steph Curry. What can happen over with Golden State and Boston, because we even see it with Miami. If Golden State starts shooting Boston out, it's not even going to be fun to watch because it's going to get ugly.
Let me ask you this: going back to the Boston Miami, going into a really picking tactical way out of that matchup. If you're looking at Miami, especially with Lowry's out. If Jimmy Butler's not dropping 40, who else is going to get big buckets on Miami?
I mean, you got a lot of it's a team
because man, like you said, because Miami is the number one defense. Boston is a top 5 defense, where you do got the defensive player of the year.
That's true.
Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown locking everything up on the wings. For real, like they work on every.
Right.
Al Horford can switch on every screen 1 through 5.
True.
Right.
That's true.
And at the same time. If Jaylen Brown ain't hitting, Jason Tatum gonna hit. If Jason Tatum ain't gonna hit, we saw what Marcus Smart did. And then you see the bench.
I agree.
They got Pritchard coming up. So my thing,
1 through 8, they're very solid.
They paid Duncan Robinson $90 million for 5 years, and he dropped 27 in the first round, and he's been absent since.
True.
Well, they also did some change in the rotation.
True.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, and of course, like it definitely could be Miami. Like we only going. We better go game 3.
I mean,
Boston.
it's 1-1. I mean that series is definitely going to be.
I just think the Celtics got too many hitters.
Yeah,
too many. If Jimmy don't drop 40, there's too many. And I love the development from Miami. Too many undrafted players who are not Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Al Horford.
Right. They don't have the experience and the longevity.
But they have the coaching system right now that's a little bit crazy right now. Like Spoelstra is going to get his team in every game, because I guarantee you that no matter which way it goes, they're not going to get blown out again. I don't see a blowout happening for Miami at all the rest of this series.
That's true too, but the last time Spoelstra won some rings, he had some superstars on his team. Since then, and if I look at Boston, they got a couple they got Jason Tatum, who's a superstar. If Jaylen Brown left the Celtics, he would be a superstar on another team. So I feel like to win a championship, you need superstars. And we just talked about Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Is he a superstar?
This series is going to show that.
So that's what I'm saying. I feel like either way, Miami, Boston come out. But from a basketball standpoint, I really believe Boston, not only they are a top 5 defensive team because they can switch everything. If somebody's not scoring, you will find somebody else who can drop 30.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I kind of look at it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And don't forget, too, even on the other side on the West, Doncic went down 2-0 to Phoenix.
Yes.
It's not a good thing to go down 2-0 to Golden State. But again, it's different playing
absolutely.
back in Dallas.
And then the Warriors and that perfectly segues into that series.
Very well could have went any way tonight.
For sure.
The Mavericks beat themselves tonight, honestly.
Yeah.
They really did.
I mean,
Golden State was definitely making that comeback, but if you think of it, the Mavericks had that rhythm, and they let themselves lose in that moment.
Luka still got 42.
They could have honestly won the night.
You can't shut down Luka. You just slow him down.
Bullock, Brunson, they were all tuned in, and then they just stopped.
That's the key for them, because Luka gonna get his 40.
Yeah, the others have to step. But again,
it's
but that's the anomaly of the Warriors. They have
a lot of hitters.
They just have guys who have flamethrowers on their arms. You know what I mean?
100%.
Steph Curry can drop 40, and he's been doing this his whole fucking life. But then Klay Thompson is a guy, I mean, he's legendarily known for dropping record number.
That's my favorite shooter.
Scores, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? In a quarter, right? Yeah, I'll give you 60 in a quarter, just randomly out of nowhere, right? Yeah. Then you got Poole, who this kid has got enormous confidence.
Could have won most improved. He was in that voting.
And then Draymond, who's orchestrating the defense, and it's just a utility knife. And you know, man, the only guy I really was fucking pissed that we lost was Gary Payton Jr. If we still had him, we'd have our little defensive feisty, you know what I mean? Gonna give me like
I hope he's there for the finals.
Me too, man.
Both of these series are definitely crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I believe, like I said, I really believe Golden State got it this year.
Yeah.
I think that vengeance factor will play a role in the reason why they will be wanting to get back there.
Yeah.
But again, we don't know.
Yeah.
Because
that's why we watch sports.
Jason Kidd is really good at adjustments.
Yes.
And I guarantee you he's going to have something different for them in Dallas.
And that's the last thing. Speaking of that, let's circle back to that. Jason Kidd, his coaching career has been pretty up and down, funny, and all the way around, but he's really stepped into his own this year. So,
100%.
You know, I want to speak to that brother because he's a brother from the town like myself. So, you know, shout out to Jason Kidd and doing his thing and holding it down, man. I just wanted to, what did you guys think of how he's evolved as a NBA coach?
I think the biggest thing too is, you know, he's back to a franchise that drafted him. A team that he won his first ring with, you know what I'm saying? And he got himself a future fucking Hall of Famer.
And he has an owner who believes in him.
And he has an owner, you know what I'm saying, who believes in him. So I feel like he's right at home. He's able to just give so much knowledge to Luka.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who's, of course, a different type of player what Jason Kidd was, but Jason Kidd is a champion. He is
and he also has that pedigree to call his guys out.
Exactly. Like, you got to respect what Jason Kidd is telling you. And so somebody like Luka, who again, that's what I believe. Like I said, I believe Golden State is going to probably win everything. But Luka, and we don't, like you said, we don't know. We don't know it can happen these next 2 weeks where he can become.
He has
legendary.
A flamethrower on his.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Too. Like, you know what I mean? He could get dropped 60 on you.
Man.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, no one can really guard him.
Nobody.
Well, moving on, I want to go to respectfully disrespectful. I got this was kind of a question. I was listening to a podcast, and guys who've been hearing me or watching the show and stuff. I listen to a lot of other podcasts. I listen to a lot of societal stuff, and I listen to guys like philosophers too. I read a lot of books. I do a lot of this on UPS because I work UPS in the middle of fucking night. So I'm always listening to stuff while I'm at work. Like Jordan Peterson and Les Brown, God rest his soul, and just different motivational speakers and things. But this one podcast came across that I found interesting. It's a woman. I forgot her name. I think it's a redhead woman. It's based out of Europe. It's a Ukraine podcast. Okay. But she's a traditional woman, or she's not an anti-feminist, but she brings feminists on her show and asks kind of some of these tough questions.
Right.
And she said a question, and I kind of wanted to allude it to athletes, because I think it's, as basketball players, athletes, even you being an artist, this is something we commonly see. So her question was, and I'll circle it back into how it's relevant to us. So her question was, if a woman gets intentionally pregnant by a man, and not intentionally pregnant, if she gets pregnant by a man and it's not his kid, and she doesn't tell him, right? She marries him, whatever, doesn't tell him. Should she have any repercussions? Should she take, because essentially she committed fraud, right? Like, she gets married to a man. They got a 7-year-old together. She told him it's your kid or whatever. The man finds out that it's not his kid that he's been raising for the last 7 years, using his resources, his money, his network, his finances to take care of her and this child that he assumed is his. And she openly knew, no, this ain't his kid, right? Should she face legal ramifications? And now we don't have to answer that question, but it got me thinking. Because we know in this culture of basketball, especially NBA, you see it on the news all the time, the Brittany Renners, and even that might be, that story's so crazy and, convoluted and so many back and forths. But we see it, remember Dwayne Wade's ex-wife, and now she was flipping out on him now, and just culturally in basketball, you can see it a lot. My own brother, who's in the NFL, has some experience in this, unfortunately. But there are literally women out there who are actively trying to, get a baby by a man or take advantage of him, or say he raped her. I mean, we have countless story after story of, I should say grape because we're on the YouTube algorithm, sorry. But, story after story of, women saying they got raped and all these type of stuff. But then when the truth comes out, there's nothing that happens to them. I mean, even if you want to circle it back historically, like the Emmett Till stuff and all that, right? Should there be some type of ramifications for women that are out there to exploit men with, in the sports industry like basketball, NBA, or artists? You know what I mean? Like trying to, if it gets found out that these women actively are, it's a predatory type atmosphere where they're preying upon these high profile men to try to get the bag, try to get money, and that comes find out. I believe if there was any legal ramifications, this shit would stop.
For sure. But
because they know, okay, even if you find out I tried this or I did this, remember the whole funny thing with Drake and the woman trying to, he put hot sauce in the condom and all that. You know what I mean? Like, I
remember that.
I feel she should face some legal ramification for trying that. But of course she's not. You know what I mean? Nothing's going to happen to her except she's just in the tabloids, and most people probably forgot about it by now anyway. But what I'm saying is Drake can't, because she tried to sue him. That's the crazy part. He put the hot sauce in there. She tried to get the semen, and basically because it burned her, she's suing him. It's like, but you just tried to get pregnant by me, and and so I'm just curious. Like, I know that's a more controversial topic, but I do like talking about that kind of crazy shit on this show. Like, I think women should start facing some legal ramifications for having predatory behavior. I'm just curious if you guys had any thoughts on it. If you don't want to comment, don't. I'll say it, but that's just my opinion.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, if you're doing something that you're not supposed to do, then it kind of goes without saying. Like, it's not really right for a man or a woman to do something like that you're ruining someone's life potentially. So it's not right to do something like that. And at the same time, it's very dishonest, especially if you're using your resources, as a man stepping up to the plate, coming to find out that's not your child. Then that's a confidence issue as well. That could ruin someone's self-esteem. That could also, mentally affect somebody's health too as well.
Do you think?
Because it's now you're attached to that child as well. So I don't think it's right to do it. But then again, I mean,
what should the legal ramifications be though? Should she should there be a fine? Should she go to jail? Should she go to what? Do you think there should be a legal law or something that you've broken? Because if you steal from a company, that's theft. If you're an employer and you steal from your employees' paychecks, that's embezzlement. You know what I mean? It's
I think if you're doing something you're not supposed to do, it should come with some type of consequence regardless.
There you go. What about you, Mark? Any thoughts on this one?
Like everything he just said, like you supposed to be, you should be locked up for that shit. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like you're affecting. Like now you're bringing emotion. You're bringing a child now, where you're just messing up the child, and even the dad who ends up maybe creating this relationship, believing it's their kid, and then now that messes with you mentally, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that person need to go to jail.
Right.
So because I guess it is a woman, and, in the culture that we live in, it's always the man, you know what I'm saying, who ends up getting, you know what I'm saying, the book thrown at him, where at the end of the day, because it's a woman, you know what I'm saying, and usually we always have to hear both sides, right? We got to give them the benefit of the doubt, that they don't understand what's really happening, but like women are smart.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They're very smart. I'm gonna give you props. Y'all are geniuses. You know what I'm saying? So you can't tell me that doesn't happen a lot, to where a lot of them get away with it. And so to me, because again, like, for a man or anybody else, there's always this punishment that we always hear about. Like, we're like, what? How? Why? And then something like this probably, gets swept under the rug a lot.
Yeah, because it kind of, one thing I've been kind of looking at too is, I even think I looked at some of the statistics. The whole country's watching this even more than the Ukraine and Russian war, is the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. Because this is one of the few times you're seeing a woman be held accountable for these crazy actions. And it just kind of got me thinking of that question, like, man, if NBA players know, I wasn't in the league, but I have friends who have been in the league, and they know All-Star break what a lot of those women are up there to do. You know what I mean? You got All-Star NBA break in Vegas, they know what's up. You know what I mean? You got NBA Summer League in Vegas, they know what's up. You know what I mean? Like, and some of these women, and to me, that's predatory. But can you imagine groups of men saying, yeah,
that's true, we
gonna go to spring break to, go impregnate some women? Like, bro, we'd be locked up.
100%. I mean, yeah. I don't think we would get let off the hook.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just saying.
They would probably cancel us real quick.
Very much. And again, I'm not saying this because I'm thinking 3 guys in a room talking about are going to invoke change, but I do think the conversation needs to be had. That's all.
That's true.
I'm just saying, like, that's why I literally did a whole episode of on my little small show, The Coach's Rise Time, where I said, should athletes, especially up and coming ones, like younger ones, have girlfriends? Or, and I quite honestly, I said no. I said you should, if you're an artist, it's very similar to if you're artist, athlete. If you have a craft, if the person you're going to date is maybe like your high school sweetheart or someone you've known like forever, yeah, that's who you hold it down with. But if you're, let's say, like your age, 25, just drafted to the NBA, no. Stay alone. Leave alone, stay alone.
At that point, you don't know what's real, what's
exactly.
fake. I mean, I guess that you just got to do some soul searching for that one.
Right.
Because you just won't really know at that point. It's crazy. It's kind of sad because, I mean, even I experience it myself, get to that point, especially in my career now where
you get a few DMs.
I don't, I mean, I don't know all the time of who's really, 100% there for me. Or just there because they see that I'm climbing and elevating into it,
They see your potential and they want to,
So I'm pretty good at reading people though. I can kind of read the energy a little bit, so I got an upper hand on some of that. But again, I'm a human too, so I might let one slip right under me, and then there it is.
That's why I be trying to tell these young athletes.
I just said, be smart,
protect yourself, man. Yeah, protect yourself.
Be very smart, make the best decision, and trust your process. And 9 times out of 10, like you said, unless you got a ride or die behind you, all it really ever is going to be is you disappointing that female that you're with, or vice versa, or you guys disappointing each other because you're not giving her the time that she needs, or it's just too much going on with your career. You got to be focused. You got to do way more than especially when you got to hit the road and travel. It's just a lot. It comes with a lot, so it's a lot.
The focus should be focused on the process and let things just happen organically.
Exactly.
1,000,000%.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Any of them 304s come, you just Hadouken! Keep it pushing, man. You gotta keep it pushing. So, just some quick controversial advice. We got 2 more things, and we get out of here. I wanted to get your take on the music industry as a whole. Have you found it's harder or easier? Because like in the industries we're in, me and Mark are in, with training and AAU and all that stuff, it's competitive, but at the same time, it's also it's very much I'm trying to word this correctly.
Right.
It's very much, I'm the king of my castle, stay the hell away. I don't want to work with you. People are very adversarial, right? That's the best word I can use. They're very adversarial, more than collaborative, right?
True.
Have you found it's very much like that in the music industry, or trying to work with other people?
There's definitely people that are stuck in their ways, or just got they people that they believe in. I believe the music industry is a very tricky business. You kind of have to just know exactly how to navigate through this business and do it the right way, and be smart. Be very smart. Not everybody out there is gonna have your best interest. So it's also about having that team behind you, that trust system, and that support system that you do need. Because this music industry is very, very, very deep. You just got to know what you're doing, just like in any business. But I would love for it to be more collaborative because I think there's a lot more talent out here will get recognized for sure.
And I mean, we are in a capitalist society. So let's, again, this is me just being objective. Let's not discredit that. Capitalism is built off of, the top rise,
right.
The cream of the crop rise to the top, right? That's the goal of a society like this, right? But
right.
at the same time, you don't have to step on somebody to get your success. You know what I mean?
No, you really don't. I mean, for example, look at Russ. Look at what Russ is doing.
Yeah.
Russ, can come across as controversial sometimes, but he's not sitting here ruining what anyone else got going on. He's doing him, and he's making it look good for him and anybody who believes in him and what he's doing, and he's just riding his own wave. So ride your own wave, but don't be afraid to kind of, put your wave in the mix and collaborate or work with other people that are similar to that wave, because that's how you become a bigger wave.
Yep.
So, connectivity and just having that open mind in the business is the best thing to do. Yep. You don't want to go in the business thinking like everybody's out to get you. You just want to go in there very cautious and aware and ready for the moment. If you're not ready for the moment, don't try to be ready for the moment. Just wait until you are ready.
All right. And well, Mark, I want to get on you, man. Your ass haven't been here in forever. Man, update me, man. Tell me what's going on. What's new? I know you're doing the AU thing with the Woodland Warriors. I see that. I see the videos. Shout out to Jaden. Right? He
New Mexico State.
Signed with D1. I know you're doing a lot of the training with Gus. I see you with him.
Man.
So, break it down, man. Update us.
It's funny, like, before the show we were talking, you said, people was like, oh, y'all beefing.
Yeah. Like, people were DMing me like, I haven't seen Mark there. Y'all not cool? I'm like, dude, we're cool. Like, he's just working and he lives in fucking Dixon.
Yeah,
like, we're not close.
So
that's crazy.
I live in Dixon, right?
Right.
It's like almost sometimes an hour.
From here, from Rockland. You see where we at? Shit.
Yeah, true.
I'm not from Dixon. You know what I'm saying? I'm from San Diego. My wife, she's from Dixon. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yes, sir. So SoCal. So I've been out here in NorCal the last 5 years, but we've been busy. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been focusing on our craft, what we're doing. A lot of stuff have been going on in both our personal lives. That's again, like that's life, ups and downs, and trying to navigate and figure out how to put everything together. For me, it's about, like, as right, you as a father, me as a husband, the balance.
Yes.
Because one thing that I've learned, especially this time away, is trying to figure out, like I said, like for me, like what type of man I want to become. You know what I'm saying? And for me as a family man, a lot of us, a lot of men, will, and I've been close, what I'm saying, of picking the other way where I'm focusing just on my craft, where I know that if I just focus on the work, I know that like I can do this in my sleep, like this is going to become something. But can you still balance the time if you have a child or kids and a wife, a woman to take care of, and make sure that you still give them that same amount of time? And that's the juggle that I go through, where for me, when that's going good, the family stuff, I've found out that I don't have to go, even though I can get into that mindset 24/7, locked in, just into my work,
right? And
all that stuff is good, but like something's still empty. And so for me recently, the biggest thing that I've learned since I've been away, what I'm saying, just because a lot of stuff has happened, is that I've been working on balance. And I feel like, just moving forward, like we just talked about, the collaborating, a lot of trainers, will just focus and keep themselves in a box, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I won't lie, like everybody's different. You know what I'm saying?
There's times you need to stay in your own lane.
No, for sure. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to always work with people. You know what I'm saying? That's a different mindset. But I truly believe, again, if you're thinking about the bigger picture, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a person that believes in leveling up. You got to put egos away, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a whole different type of level, you know. And so going back to Gus, shout out to Gus Armstead, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, he's been, you know, just like you know, being a big brother to me, you know, Gus OG, you know what I'm saying? As you know, and he's been 30 years, been doing what he's been doing. 300 NBA players he's been working with. He got Gabe Vincent, shout out to Gabe Vincent, you know what I'm saying? He's playing for Miami. He's from the area. Gus worked with him. And that's very inspiring to me, you know what I'm saying, where a lot of that, you know, being able to be under him and learn from him, you know, because again, where I'm Dixon, Winters, Vacaville, and Davis, Fairfield, you know what I'm saying, we're not San Francisco, we're not SAC, where the talent pool, you know, in the last 5 years, for me, that's what I've been learning is that I'm still, even though I play professionally, like that has nothing to do when it comes to being a teacher, trying to inspire people. You know, back in the day when I was playing, it was all about me. Like, I'm trying to make it to where now I'm at a point now where, you know, whether it's learning from you, seeing what you've been doing, and now working with Gus, where, you know, my biggest focus out of all of this is from the craft, from the game, besides all the other stuff when it comes to GGT Productions, family life, everything, being a good leader in my community. True. Is how do I develop somebody to get to the best league in the world? And whether it happens or not, like that is my mission, to cross paths with certain kids like MJ, like Jaden Alexander, like some of the kids that I have, you know, where that's back-to-back years where MJ, who's coming from Vacaville, is at San Jose State playing the Mountain West, and I got Jaden Alexander, who averaged 33, and that's the next one we got to get on the show, who averaged 33 points per game his senior year, no D1 offers, no nothing. We got to send him to Scotland, prep school in Pennsylvania, led them in scoring, you know what I'm saying, 20+. Only had 2 D1 offers, and at the end of the day, it's all about the right fit. He's at New Mexico State where, you know what I'm saying, that's all he needed. Yeah. You just need that one.
Get your chance.
And so to me, that's what, you know, my focus has been lately, just spending a lot of time with my clientele and building not just the brand of GGT, God Given Talent Basketball, but at the same time, just becoming better at what I do and leading by example. So now that, you know, we're back here, and I feel like, and a lot of it just really was organically. I felt like, you know, us being away from each other, you know, again, you know, since me being back, like my condolences again, you know, to Anthony.
Appreciate that, bro.
That's something that, you know, that was also very shocking to me, and as long as we've known each other, you know, I think of you, I think of Anthony.
Yeah, you know, he's
him walking in and out.
You know
what I'm saying? And so that was something that also I was just, you know, I was mourning, you know what I'm saying? And I know, you know, especially for you, you know, I can only imagine. So, you know, I just wanted to, you know, prayers to the family, prayers to you guys.
Appreciate that, man.
I feel like now that, you know, and it's organic, you know, timing wise, schedule wise, you know, we got our boy in the building, you know what I'm saying, which is a great show to be back on, you know what I'm saying, because he got me hyped up too.
We're good. I'm glad.
That's what's going on right now, man. Just getting ready for a big ass summer, bro.
Yes, sir.
Big ass, every summer got to level up. So
say less on that.
Right, good. And then, well, and like, you know, for those who listening or watching, or, you know, if you clicking in on YouTube and checking out the show and you've been following, you know, me and Mark have been rocking this from the beginning, man. And of course, you know, if he can't make it, I still do try to do things. But yeah, for anyone who's thinking there's any issue, no, definitely no issue. It's just a matter of
and gas too expensive too right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's another. I was just gonna say it's about timing in life, man. Like it's just timing in life, especially when you know, people got to understand, like, I have this facility in Rockland. Yeah, it's fortunate for me because this is literally like my job, my location. It's not.
You live here.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not that convenient for him all the time. But when we do get together, we're able to make really good content and really good shows. So I'm glad of that. Though. So then, Mark, I guess my only thing is so I know, you have been talking like a lot on your social media with stuff about Jaden potentially pushing, or MJ potentially pushing to really try to make it pro. You know what I mean? Like, man, and you seem very passionate about it. And they seem passionate about it. What would you have to say to any criticism or critique of them? Like, well, nah, they're, you shouldn't say that, or they're not going to make that. I'm just, do you want to speak to that? Or
no,
what
man, like to be real with you, right? About that life,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I've had people reach out, whether it's to me, which is crazy, bro. And it's that AAU mentality, that's the bad side of it. Right. Where people are saying, well, I used to be with him before you though. Or shoot, man, I used to, he used to play on my AAU team, back then. I'm like, that's cool. Like, I'm not even bashing, but like you said, the way I talk about them, like most people won't do that. Most people won't put their names out the line and vouch for a kid,
right?
Because they're not a finished product yet,
right?
Like like I said, I'm in the process where I know as long as they stick to the process, everything that I'm saying, like I'm manifesting.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And whether it happens or not, there's a lesson learned,
right? You
know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people, I feel like, and a lot of coaches or trainers, especially like in kind of my area, because again, we're in between, like in the middle of nowhere. There's really farmland,
right.
You know, so if you find a diamond, everybody's like, you know what I'm saying? Right. And so for me, I felt like, to be real with you, the diamonds I've had, like you've seen, like whether it was outside during COVID, no gym,
right? You
know what I'm saying? To now, because of that, like people giving me access to their gyms, just because they believe in what we're doing. And then at the end of the day, it's like, yes, because it's not about the results, but it's about the results at certain times, where when kids talk about they want to go D1, you know what I'm saying, and not too many D1 kids come out of that area all the time, like the Bay Area or SAC, and, we got 2 kids going D1, then yes, like there's something, we're just doing everything right, and we're doing it consistently. Like to me, you already know me, man. I'm just trying to outwork people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like if you create that environment and everybody has that mindset, then things just start happening. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in, speaking things to existence. So like I don't care when people are just, because of course you're gonna have hate, you're gonna have doubt. But I feel like like I've had that, man. I've had people reach out to the parents, like why is he putting that target on MJ's back?
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? And and the parents are with me. You know what I'm saying? Well, why? Like my son's good. And I'm like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like why not? You know what I'm saying? And especially if we put in the hours like that. If you're not putting in the hours, I am not hyping you up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're putting in the hours and you got talent, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody like Jaden, 40-inch vertical, 6'4", 6'5", jump out the gym. You can't teach that. You know what I'm saying? But we can teach the other things and then show. Like I think he going to lead. Okay. And that's how I'm going to keep rocking.
Okay, more power to it. That's why I wanted him to have that point, because we haven't updated in a minute. So no, that's good. All right. Well, the last thing I want to talk about before we get out of here is just some updates for Anthony Williams. And in that case, again, if you've been listening to the show or following my personal YouTube or the things like that, you know about my player / nephew. Foster son, as he loved to joke and talk about, Anthony Williams, who passed away in March. He got struck by a vehicle and is no longer with us. Again, I'm still grieving and working through it myself, but the love and support has been tremendous for me. Like what Mark saying right there, and just the community and everyone rallying behind me. Shout out to his sister Cornisha. She's been very vocal about her wanting justice for him, and I'm going to use my platform to talk about it and update those who might give a damn, or I think my previous episodes, I had links to the news articles in the description. I'll probably have them for this one as well, if you want to click on those links and kind of catch yourself up on what I'm talking about. So the updates, all I have for you guys is the person who hit him came out publicly and said he apologized. He's a CEO out here in Placer County. She's lawyered up. They want to battle this. They want him to face consequences for his actions. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I really don't. I've more or less chosen to focus on Anthony's memory and his good points and keeping my team focused, because as you know, I have that UA contract and the UA stuff, and that's his team. You remember that was his team, that is on the UA circuit playing and part of the docuseries. And shout out to Joe, who's out here filming and doing all the camera work. Me and him are working together, making this docuseries to give a visual life to those looking from the outside and seeing my journey and our perspective of it. So, check my social media out, all that stuff. You'll clearly see it there. But he, I don't know what the outcome of all this is going to be. It's going to be, Carnisha, I know you have a plan and you're trying to seek justice for him. It's so hard to say. A recent article came out about the driver. He had DUI history. Oh wow. Just negligent basically a history of being negligent at the wheel. And could that have played a factor in Anthony's passing away because he got hit by a car? Literally just I didn't get the information to know if he was like crossing the street or in the street, or people know him and know he was a goofy type of kid like that. So I don't know what's going to happen. The one thing I will say, if this does go to trial, if it does go all the way, I'm going to make sure I use this platform for if any of you guys are, and when I mean you guys, I mean any type of mainstream platform, try to fucking character assassinate my kid, my foster son, my player, you're not going to fucking get away with that. You're not going to bastardize this kid and make it seem like he somehow, because I just hate to say it, when it comes to our kids and black culture, when they're the victim, they all of a sudden portray them as the perpetrator, like they deserve death because of whatever reason, and because this apparently this CEO has been very much protected by the Rockland PD. So there is just a lot of shady things going on, and I can't believe I'm a part of something like this. You just never, I read about shit like this. You read about the Oscar Grants, the Mike Browns, I never thought in a million fucking years I'd be a part of something like this, and I really just more or less have stayed back from it, not necessarily taking a stance of right, wrong, or anything. I'm just trying to honor Anthony. But if you fuckers come at him and try to paint this kid like he was some sort of bad kid or something like that, I'm not going to let that shit happen. I will be on this microphone. I will use my platform till my dying breath to make sure that people understand, like, yes, was he a kid that had issues? Absolutely. His parents died at an early age. He was raised by a sister who was a kid herself. He was then a foster kid. He had life issues. He had dyslexia. He had learning disabilities. He was not perfect. But show me a fucking kid.
What person is
exactly, perfect, right? Show me someone who's perfect. Please do. Show me
you can't.
A fucking 19, 18, 16, 17-year-old kid who's fucking perfect. Like, so don't come. I just have to get this out because I just know it's something that's bottled up in me. And I just, that. And again, this has been a great show, so I'm not trying to end it on a negative light. I just want to make sure this gets out there to the public. Like,
yeah, my condolences to you and the family for that too, man.
I appreciate that a lot, man. Praise. So yeah, man, I just wanted people to know that. So, and then, well, with all that being said, Mark, you got anything
no, man.
You want to ask? Or
like I said, I feel like I'm happy to be back. You know what I'm saying? We gonna start getting this rolling going into the summer.
Yeah.
Man, it was a pleasure, bro, having you on the show.
Hey, man, likewise.
It was definitely loved hearing your story, and again, man, I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, Jay.
More to tell.
You got any last words, Jay, for the public or anything insightful?
I mean, man, I'm just appreciative to be where I'm at. I'm appreciative to see the support and the just the support system around me. I look forward to continuing to grow and tell my story. I'm here to stay. Like, I'm here to stay. Is this the part where we do the shout outs or?
Yeah. Shout your people out.
You know,
Absolutely.
So, yeah, man. Huge shout out to About That Life podcast for one. Shout out to you guys, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Shout out to my older cousin AJ Wesley. Shout out to like my second mom, Team Tina. Her son Bentley. Shout out to LaShawn, my manager Carl Thornton, booking agent Crystal Thornton, all the artists on the roster from Zeus to David Adam to Jake the Majesty, RMW Willie, KJ, YBO Dre. It's a crazy list. And shout out to my mom, my grandma, Julius Collins, Herman Carter for God Buckets, Kay Sims and Jen, Zariah. My fan base, like, it's crazy because I hate coming to this part because that's like my shout out list is like crazy because I have to make sure
you're gonna do this long enough. You got plenty of more shout outs you can get, but man. No, that's
so shout out to them. Shout out to my city. Shout out to Cujo Speaks as well in the U store. C. De Niro, Gary Archer, big support system, and shout out Prodigy Music, man, my engineer and producer. Shout out Money Gang on the track as well. Money Gang on the track is going crazy.
All right,
and FTA BAM, shout out AT, and shout out everybody working for themselves, man, and making a difference out here in the community and taking it to the next level.
Yes, sir.
Y'all the realest, man. So
appreciate it.
Stay tuned for the project. We drop Voice EP this coming Friday, 5/27/22. Love you guys.
All right. And so, Mark, anything left for you? You got any shout outs or re-out?
Oh, man, Jake the Majesty, too. I think I said him, but that's my little brother, man. Jake the Majesty. I got to get him in there.
No, man, like I said, I'm just happy to be back and appreciate you having you on the show, brother.
Oh, and I got one. Jordan Lewis, Drifty J, congratulations to your success right now. I think he got to almost 1 million subs now. So congratulations. Awesome. He's a content basketball creator on the show. So, great job, man. Everybody be safe out there, man. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones. And we are out.